Good morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour, as we can see, we are basically breaking down the levels, back testing the previous level of support as resistance, breaking back down, back testing the previous level of support as resistance, and currently we are in a move in the process of a move back down towards our support level. I mean, we've got the support level in here, but as you can see, we pretty much this has been the actual line that the wicks have all aligned with. But yeah, this is pretty much the level how I've got it drawn based off mainly off previous price action, albeit slightly lower than what the most recent price action is showing. But yeah, either way, that is the level, about $30,000. We're gonna have to hold this. We are going to have to not lose this and come down this time, otherwise we are going to get a pretty aggressive move down to what will pretty much well, as a minimum of 26,000, maybe even lower. But yeah, I think we'll find our way down to there if we lose this level. That is not to say this will happen in much the same way when we were looking great, looking bullish up here, looking like we had a chance to take out 42. We were still just trapped within the range, and that was more important. So in much of that same vein, as we come down towards this $30,000 level, it is still more likely, potentially marginally more likely, in my opinion, obviously, that we do get supported around here, make our way back above, well, 30, call it 34,000, and then try and get back up towards the top half of this wider range. It is, in my opinion, marginally more likely that we do hold this range, even if we are to break down to the below here ultimately, on any given pass of the top or the bottom in a wider range. You kind of still have to put a bit more weight on the fact we will just remain in that range rather than us actually break through at that given point. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Important level. You can see I say we got a front ran. This level where I've drawn it has got a front ran, but if we actually look where we've come down to on a wick basis, we've literally come back down to exactly the same level of these two previous wicks. So there you go. Yes, so Bitcoin has got some work to do. Like I said, it could get very bad pretty quick. But on that flip side, we could get a bump and run. We could get a swing failure, a slingshot reversal, where we do come down, we do wipe a load of people out, FOMO a load of bears in, stop a load of people out down to 26k-ish, and then swing back up, and then we make a more solid move to the upside, and then ultimately take out the top side. That is obviously a scenario. Obviously, the alternative is we are just out and down for the count. That we do break below 26, we do bounce up to 30, we do get resisted at 30 again, and do continue down to low 20Ks, just for the sake of completion of the bull and bear scenarios there. Ethereum, Bitcoin also looking pretty weak. I mean, not as weak as it could be given what's on the table at the moment, with a potential break below 30k. But yeah, looking pretty weak. But yeah, not obviously having as a severe downwards move as it has been. The DXY, the all-important DXY, I mean, we pretty much know it's not, and said it wasn't going to go up and come straight back down. These are pretty much the two levels that we're going to be trapped between. We need to get resisted here, not take out this basically 92.5, and we need to then find our way basically back below. I mean, we could just, yeah, we need to find our way. We could pretty much call it 91.5. However, I got this drawn out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we raise it, we could raise this up a little bit, and then it would basically near 91.5. But there's no need for me to do that, just so I can say 91.5 and 92.5. But yeah, either way, you can see we've got to ultimately work our way below this this support level, not make our way above this resistance level, and then yeah, things will start to look fine and dandy again in the risk markets. My bias is that we will break down. But obviously we'll have to see what happens. But I mean, again, it's just confirmations. If we get above 92.5, then yeah, I think we'll take out this high, and then we'll get some moves into 94. But yeah, I will just reiterate that's what I don't think is going to happen, but anything can happen. Yeah, so yeah, this will be the main driver below 90, basically below this level and starting to come back down again. We will, things will start to look a lot better. I think for crypto, I mean, things are not looking too bad for stock markets, as you can see. And we put in a nice strong low here and trying to make our way back up. Maybe we print an inverted head and shoulders that would have a pretty lofty target. So yeah, stock market is not looking good, not looking bad, sorry. Nasdaq, I mean, this is looking very good as well. This is just looking fantastic as well. So we have got that behind us. The bond market as well, as we can see, basically back within our level, back within our range here. So yeah, not basically causing any real causes, not basically any real cause for concern. So yeah, Bitcoin dominance as well. Look at that shooting up, making the move. Again, above here, yeah, acceleration. I mean, realistically, we could say this is the potential, this high as a target, but I would, if we look at this on a larger time frame, I would pretty much just be looking at a back test of this trend line. But that being said, we could basically reject anywhere from this range and come back down. But yeah, I mean, you could draw a well, you'd struggle actually to draw an ascending wedge. It more just looks like an ascending triangle actually, which is potentially a bullish scenario. But what you could do is call this a bear flag in the context of this move down. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But yeah, back over to Bitcoin, and let's have a look at those stochastics, which can't be looking too brilliant today. But yeah, 4 hour down in the dump still. Obviously didn't have that ability to hold us above the $33,000 level. So does it have the ability to finally hold us above a level, that being the $30,000 level? We shall see. 10 hour again, coming from a very low level, obviously very low, which is obviously indicating bearish price action. But if it can get moving, it can potentially hold us above this $30,000 level, even if it's just at this iteration of the oscillation within the range. But ultimately we'll have to see what happens. 12 hours, well, diving very low, got the potential to turn back up at some point. Daily still diving though. 2-day turn back down. 3-day has turned back down, albeit at a low level. 5-day again back down, albeit at a low level. And weekly getting very low now as well. So obviously the weekly has now got the potential to turn back around. So like I've said, we will get, I mean, it's almost irrelevant me saying this, but we will get a very, very big bull trap potential or continuation of the bull run type bounce at some point. And it is just a case of when and where, from what price point that point is. So could it be from down here? Yeah, it very much could be. This is within the range. If it does start to turn up, we could then grind our way up, turn back around these especially higher time frame stochastics, start to get some momentum to the upside, and then actually we could then go on to new all-time highs, or we could just find our way back up at the bull trap zone we've been looking at. I mean, anywhere realistically in this zone, and then get rejected, and then actually come out and down and out for the count. But yeah, lots of potential scenarios here. I'm sure people are getting as bearish as they were getting bullish at this point, and ultimately, and as bearish as they probably were at this point also. But ultimately, we are just operating within a range at the moment until we're at the low end of that range. Obviously, then we have a possibility to break down below. So yeah. Just keep an eye on the levels, basically. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.